don't need 20 friends. You just need 3 motherfuckers and you can take over a country. Okay, that's what we're confused as Americans. We think we need all these motherfuckers. You give me 3 bad motherfuckers, you're finished. You understand me? You're fucking finished. Because we got each other. And you know, listen, man.
Look alive.
We are here.
Mondo Matters, Season 3.
Episode 2.
Season 3, Episode 2. What's good, good people? Welcome back to your favorite podcast. I'm your humble host, J Optics, here with my not-so-humble host.
Hey, man, they ride on 2 horses, man. No, what up, man?
Hey, man, we hope y'all been enjoying y'all weekend. I know we have been watching a little football. There was a fight, Canelo versus Charlo this weekend. I don't know if y'all won some money or lost some money this weekend, but whatever. Hope you ain't blow the mortgage.
Nah, not at all.
Dummy.
Not at all, man.
These niggas betting money on boxing like this shit ain't fixed. Shit I don't get.
The fix is it.
Niggas be betting on boxing and really be putting their faith in these judges. Like they ain't on a fucking bill. Like,
man, that one fight definitely was, had something to be said about it. For real.
Let me tell you something.
Yo.
I got to give an apology out to Floyd Mayweather. I used to be a big Floyd Mayweather hater.
Yeah.
Like, I hated, like, his arrogance. Or at least what seemed like his arrogance. Mm. But when a motherfucker winning, you really can't hate, bro.
You can't.
You really can't hate. And then what he did in the press conference after that fight to that reporter, when they was, like, arguing who's the greatest of all time, and he just spit all his facts, like, who had the highest amount of tickets sold, most pay-per-views. Who beat the most world champions ever in the least amount of fights? Me. He's like, that kind of makes me, reporter's like, the greatest? Thank you. Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. I love this guy now. I'm sorry I hated on you for at least 9 years.
Damn, man.
For real. I think it was just because he didn't fight Pacquiao at that time, but whatever.
Plus, it's easy to hate somebody when all they do is win and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need my support, nigga. Shit.
You know, like, nah, I want to be on the hating side for a minute. Like, yeah.
But yeah, man, we hope y'all doing good. So, how are we doing? We ain't doing well this last episode, I don't think. I don't feel like...
Nah, we didn't.
What's your number, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm at a solid 9 right now. I'm straight.
I love it.
I'm at a solid 9.
I love it.
You know, and it's not one of those spiky high 9s. It's just been like, we've been chilling at about a good 8.
Just cooling.
You know, just cooling. Staying out the way. That's my new shit.
Yeah.
I don't do much. Stay out the way.
Stay out the way, man. Lay low. Don't even see me.
Just pop up a couple times here and there, like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's just this. Like, nothing crazy. How you?
I'm at like a 9.5. Still living my daddy life.
I like that.
You actually caught me out in the streets a couple days ago after I got my haircut.
You was out there.
Nigga, I was walking in slow motion, bro. I felt good about my haircut.
You was out there. All right, yo, fun fact.
I think I even played some music through my phone as I walked out that motherfucker.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I was actually plotting to switch barbers this week.
You should.
I was plotting on it. I was like, nah, yo.
That's a tough life decision for me.
It is, yo. It is, yo. I was telling Andre the Peace God, like, yo, I feel like, yo, this is like a real, like motherfuckers will have no problem cheating on their spouse when they come to your barber.
Shit.
Like, yo, man, you better think that through. You better think that through.
That's like one of the most important relationships out there, for real. But, nah, man, today's episode, we got a little doozy for y'all. We're not breaking down any music. We're not breaking down any movies.
Nah.
But there was something in the social media YouTube realm that deserves our attention here at Mondo Matters. Mm. So if you're not familiar with the, I don't even know what to call her. Media personality, influencer.
Harlot. Nah, let me stop.
Nah, yeah, let's not go there yet.
I ain't gonna do that.
But Brittany Renner.
Yeah.
She had an appearance, her first appearance, I think, since she was on another podcast where she had got drunk with Charleston White.
Oh, God.
And she was doing some things, doing things on things.
Yeah.
But she was on Club Shay Shay with our guy Shannon Sharp. Shout out to Shannon Sharp.
What up,
So she went on his podcast / YouTube show. And she had disclosed some information about her body count.
Yeah.
It was a number. It was a number that was up there. It was a number that was up there.
Yeah.
So we need to discuss whether or not, as men, we feel like females' body count matters when picking a partner, courting a partner, or do we not really even give a fuck? And body counts is an archaic way of thinking, and who cares how many bodies you got?
Also, we could take a look at the other side of that coin too and flip it, just for,
of course,
just for conversation.
I mean, we boys up here, so we got to talk about whether or not our body count It's something that needs to be talked about.
I don't want to hear no words through the wire like, y'all only talking about the women. Why don't y'all? All right, we hear y'all. Shut the fuck up. All right, here we at. We gonna look at both sides. We got you.
We also want to take a quick dip into what's been blowing up the sports world. I don't know if any of y'all familiar with the Kansas City Chiefs tight end, Travis Kelce. He has been recently romantically linked to Taylor Swift, who is obviously a pop star sensation worldwide.
I don't want to say is she. I'm not gonna say is she. She is.
Yeah, she popping like
she is. But going to delve into the topic of
whether or not as men, we can handle our girl being way more popping than us out here in these streets.
Also, the side comment of, there's been some conversation, some rumblings, more so from one side or another. Did he take an L? Do you feel like he took an L? Do you feel like it's a downgrade?
We'll have to discuss that if he upgraded or downgraded from his ex girlfriend.
And she has some things to say.
Did she?
She has some things to say.
Yeah, all that plus we got to talk about what's going on in the news currently. But before we do that, we need to get a little bit inebriated somehow, some way, because this is not a dry show.
Yeah, no.
And your boy J Optics supplied the poison.
Oh,
for this week.
Oh shit! Well, go ahead and reach in the brown bag.
So I hopped a quick flight, took my beautiful ass down to Kentucky, and I got some Kentucky bourbon. This is Bullet bourbon.
I believe I've had that before.
Did we have it on the show?
I am not sure.
I don't think we had it on the show.
Somebody out there, listener, comment. Let us know if we had this in the show. I don't remember. Not only because, I'm a little old, but, we drank a lot. So, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we got some Kentucky bourbon, 90 proof. I got the 750. No, I got the 375 bottle. So, this is going to run you about $40, $36.
Much obliged. The show thanks you.
It's time to pull up.
We about to find out.
I'm excited to drink this because I got a feeling of what I'm expecting with this one right here.
All right. So, pre-drink, what are you expecting?
I'm expecting what I expect from most Kentucky bourbons, that it's going to be like kind of sweet, got that maple flavor, maybe a little caramel flavor to it. I'm expecting it's something that you will want to drink with some barbecue.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or something like that. But let's cheers to more life and then have a little swig. Sweet on the nose. Definitely sweet on the nose.
Yeah.
Like I say.
Yeah.
Definitely sweet.
Yeah.
Sugar, cinnamon, maple, brown sugar.
It's got that aftertaste too. When it's sweet liquor too. That little hint of it's sweet upon initial. And then it turns into it turns its face when it goes down. It's
Yeah. Not very smoky. It's not harsh at all.
Nah.
But it's good. I can see how this would pair well with eating something. Brisket, some ribs, some barbecue chicken or something like that. This will go. I'm a fucking fan.
As the only single man on this podcast, I guess I could say, nah, this ain't what you use to get right or get in that mood. You ain't mixing this with no honey. You ain't doing no out of the way shit,
This ain't that.
This is not that type of party. If you want, you have a nice little cigar with this. Or, for all those out there, that partake in the partaking, a nice blunt to go well with this.
Yeah.
I'll go smooth with this. This is no.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5. It's okay. If I had $40, I'll probably buy something else. But it's not nasty by no stretch of the imagination. It's just it just doesn't have any attributes about it that makes you that puts you in the vibe of anything except eating to me. So I'm gonna skip on this as far as it being at the top of my list of affordable bourbons, but I'm gonna drink it. Shit.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay. 6.5 and a 6. I like it. So let's get into the show, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it.
Let's start right at the top.
All right.
I like starting with the greatest.
All right.
Auntie Beyonce.
Man.
Beyonce Renaissance Tour. I haven't been to a show.
I haven't either.
The way my account's set up, I'm really not able to afford to go.
Not at all.
So But all the clips I've seen online look amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a fantastic show. She got her daughter up there dancing with her, doing choreography. I love the fact that I saw like the earlier shows when she had Blue up there dancing.
When she first started?
And she looked kind of uncomfortable.
Versus where she is now?
Yeah.
Like she
same with like New York and the Houston show. I'm kind of like,
yeah,
she got a little fucking sass now.
Yeah, she started turning up a little
Come on, son. Stop playing with her.
She started turning up.
But nah, the show looks fantastic, man. And shout out to Beyonce for doing, sometimes four shows a week.
And when they do that mute challenge on those shows, that shit's dope. That shit is fucking fire.
Yeah, some of y'all are trash, though.
Yo.
Some of y'all are really trash.
Yo, some of y'all don't understand the concept of mute. It's hilarious.
You know what the thing is about it? Because I feel like when you are fans of certain artists, there is no such thing as being like a casual Beyonce fan.
Yeah, no.
There ain't no casual Drake fans out there.
No casual.
So like when the part comes where it's like, yo, everybody on mute. Duh.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Stop. Yeah, mute all that shit.
You ain't had this track on repeat for the last whatever months it came out last year.
Not only that, if you a show, if you're a city that's about to get the show, right? You've seen all the other shows up until this point on Instagram, because God forbid somebody went to a Beyonce concert and didn't post it.
Right.
So you know what's coming.
Right.
And the fact that some of y'all still know what's coming and fail, I'm disappointed.
I don't promote violence, but I love the fact that at the Houston show, when somebody made noise during the mute part, that they got slapped. A woman got slapped. And you know what? I hope they're okay. I hope they good. But you probably deserve that, though.
It's a slap. It ain't like they doing that tough man slap. It's just like, shut the fuck up.
But slaps can lead to other stuff, so that's what I mean.
They can.
I'm glad everything worked out fine.
But you know what? You know what would happen if you didn't say anything? You would get slapped.
Yeah.
Cause and effect.
Mute and move on.
Exactly.
But yeah, shout out to Beyonce officially, after her show, I think on Friday. Yeah, I think last Friday, she is officially the highest grossing female tour of all time. Oof. She surpassed Madonna, which I feel like is very impressive.
Yeah.
Madonna did 410 million back in the 90s. Eesh. So she's expected to gross over like 500 million with this tour. God damn it.
Golf clap.
I couldn't sing a dance worth shit.
Nah, can't carry a tune, can't sing a note. Ain't got the feet for it.
But when it comes to being a performer, though, is she the greatest of all time? Singing, dancing, acting, beauty.
Are we talking female?
Presence.
Female performer?
No, greatest of all time.
No.
That distinguishment goes to Michael Jackson?
But still the only person I've ever seen that stands there still, nothing happens, and people faint and fall the fuck out. Never seen anything like that. And not to mention, let's not forget who everybody that performs and does all that thing is compared to in the first place. That's the standard. Now, is she going to rewrite the standard? No, I don't feel like you can. I feel like Mike is just different.
I don't want to get struck down by God at all. And I don't want Michael Jackson haunting me in my fucking dreams at all. Man. But you have to understand that with Michael Jackson, there comes a little bit of a pop element to that, though. So the people that's going to be in the audience at a Michael Jackson concert in fucking Berlin, Germany, it's going to be like this gravitas because he is a pop icon. These people like worship this man. Mm-hmm. When I talk about performers, it's just me in the room. Bring your band, put on a show. I'm going to have a good time at a Michael Jackson show. Don't get me wrong. If he did a Tiny Desk, I'm going to be on some shit like, yo, this shit is fire. Sign me up for James Brown, though, brother. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Beyonce, no disrespect to Michael Jackson, but yo, nigga, you bring your band and then put on the show for just me. It's James Brown. Because it's about to get funky in here, bro. You going to sing, you going to dance, you going to turn up, you going to have crowd engagement.
First of all,
your records is funky.
For the record, all respect to James Brown. You're going to get a lot of dancing. Singing is questionable. You're going to do more screaming than singing. And go and do a lot of screeching.
I'm going to throw this drink at you.
A lot of squealing.
I'm going to throw this drink at you. That's what I'm going to do.
A lot of that. It ain't going to be a lot of singing.
I'm going to throw this drink at you.
Like James going to say something, you're going to have to wait till the lyrics come out to understand exactly what the fuck he said.
Fine by me, brother. He getting funky.
Yes.
Moving them feet.
Yes.
You out your damn mind. And very disrespectful.
I wouldn't call it singing. Don't get me wrong.
What the fuck does Shimon mean? Shimon. You had to wait for them lyrics? You had to wait for them lyrics to come out?
All right, I feel like... All right.
Let's move on before we get violent.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But, yeah, man, sports was happening. Sports was happening. Come on, people.
Man.
NBA was on fire this weekend.
I could have swore somebody was going to Miami.
Let's talk about the biggest trade.
Shit.
Damian Lillard of the Portland Trail Blazers now moves on to the Milwaukee Bucks, teams up with Giannis Antetokounmpo to form their new big three.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis, Chris Middleton, and then Damian Lillard. Clearly the best teammate either one of them has had.
By far.
So
by far.
They're now looked at, I think, by Vegas odds to be the favorites to win it all next year.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I feel like upon initial, when I saw the trade, I was looking like, feels like, okay. I feel like Portland might have got fleeced a little bit. Didn't get Chris Middleton back. No. All right. You got some picks. You took DeAndre. Oh, God. All right. But
yeah,
upon looking at it, if you look at what everybody got, Suns got depth, which is what they needed. You know, Trailblazers ended up getting Ayton because, you know, the one other piece to that puzzle that made it kind of fair is also gone now.
Drew Holiday.
Yeah. So they got Ayton. I mean, whether or not Ayton can live up to his potential in Portland remains to be seen, but at least he has the opportunity now.
Attitude is trash.
And I mean, the Bucks got their closer. And let's be clear. Dame is their closer. It's not Giannis.
Oh, yeah.
It's Dame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything looks good on paper. On paper, they look like the favorites. However, there was also another trade in the Eastern Conference that, you know, some might say has some consequences as well.
I'm happy for Dame. As a Knicks fan, I'm not happy that he's in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, nah.
Don't get me wrong on that, but I'm happy for him. Somebody who stayed loyal to his franchise for a long, long, long time. Say he didn't want to leave. Wasn't into all that grouping up with superstars shit that everybody else was on. I appreciated that. I thought that was some real Oakland nigga shit.
Yeah.
I really felt that. And even if he went his whole career without winning the championship, I would be on some shit like, you know what? He a championship type of player.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
From what all the reports have been saying, things got a little bit messy behind the scenes between him and Portland Trailblazers organization. He had requested a trade. He had wanted to go to the Miami Heat initially.
Yeah.
But they said they, quote unquote, tried to make that deal happy, but wasn't happy with what they was getting back. So they said no.
And also said when Milwaukee made their pitch, they never called Miami back.
Right.
So it's just like, yeah, it's one of those things where we're going to trade you. You want to be traded? That's cool. We ain't going to trade you where you want to go. But if you want to go, that's cool. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, the season should be interesting now, though. I mean, it's going to be a lot of parity the way no matter how you slice it. One of the players involved in the trade, Drew Holiday, goes from the Bucks to Portland.
To the Celtics.
And then to the Celtics. And he teams up with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. So now Boston, who I feel like, if I got to be honest, though, if you look at it on paper, like your starting five versus my starting five, still something about Milwaukee's roster don't scare me like, oh, my God.
Nah, it doesn't.
It's like, we could kind of like let them two do their thing. We ain't got to worry about everybody else if we could do it.
Chris Middleton will be on, off.
Boston, they starting five look a little bit scary now that they got Drew Holiday. I don't like the fact they got rid of Marcus Smart. I thought that was dumb.
Yeah, nah. I didn't
what was
like
going on behind the scenes that you would get rid of Marcus Smart? The dude dyed his hair green for y'all.
He did, but let's not act like Boston doesn't have a tendency to do this. Like, they get rid of their heart and soul if it doesn't benefit the team, i.e. Isaiah Thomas. So, they've done this before. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Brad Stevens, Danny Ainge, we'll see if they got a plan. But on paper, right now, I still have Boston as the team to beat in the East, honestly.
I'm with that, too. So, yeah, some other news that came out this weekend in the hip-hop world. Tough, man. I still remember where I first heard the news about Pac's passing.
Yeah.
I was in elementary school when that news came out when I was like, I think I was going to lunch or something like that. But anywho, the last arrest in Tupac's murder was made. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested Friday morning on September 29th. He'll be arraigned on October 4th for the murder of Tupac Shakur. He'll be in custody without bail. It's been a long time coming. If anybody's familiar with Pac's story and what I call his assassination, that was tough. Murdered in Las Vegas. and it was a long time ago, but it feels like justice was served a little bit. It feels like justice was served because if you know anything about what this man has said over the years in interviews and what he's written in books about pretty much admitting to being involved in the murder of Tupac and pretty much doing everything, quote unquote, except pulling the trigger, you would kind of wonder, like, why would somebody be able to give up all this information about your involvement in the shooting, but still get to walk away scot-free? It gives you cause to pause and a lack of faith in our justice system, in the police department, to be on some shit like, yo, y'all sitting up here letting this motherfucker confess to a lot of shit. And this motherfucker just walking around like ain't shit happening. We just doing interviews, writing books, and just living our life and shit.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
So it's like, yo, what the fuck is going on, really?
They don't really give a fuck. They don't give a fuck until it's like they start. It's almost like they don't give a fuck when we need them to give a fuck, but they give a fuck like, all right, you know what? All right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get it together now. Like, yo, come on.
So what this dumb motherfucker did, he signed an agreement with Los Angeles Police Department after it happened, when he was under investigation the first time, that whatever that he said in the investigation wouldn't be held against him to be brought up in any type of charges.
Mm-hmm.
He failed to understand that agreement was just between him and the Las Vegas Police Department.
Yeah.
So all that talking that you're doing outside, like doing DJ Vlads and writing books and stuff like that,
nothing to do with it.
That don't count.
Dumb motherfucker.
So he pretty much dug his own grave. He'll deal with the consequences. He said in the DJ Vlad interview that he's willing to deal with the consequences. I guess we'll see if he'll stand on that. But I saw him do a lot of boo-hooing. I seen him do a lot of boo-hooing about, hey, Diddy, man, what's up? When you gonna help a brother out? You supposed to be daddy love. Where the love at, man? You're supposed to be looking us out. Like,
and that's wild.
That does not look good.
That's wild.
People, that does not look good on Diddy.
Yeah, because if that stands and that's the case, I'm not, we don't pass judgment at all. We don't speculate here on Mind That Matters. We just, state what's been out here. But if that stands, think about the last 20 years of what, give or take, Suge's been screaming.
1996.
Yeah. Think about what Suge's been screaming, what they've been saying the entire time. And if that comes up to be true.
For those who are unfamiliar with what we're talking about, there is speculation. There's no concrete evidence per se that Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, actually put a bounty on Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur for their murders. So they felt like what happened in Vegas had a lot to do with what Diddy had, started in motion and shit. So who knows, man? They had a long history before that. After Big got shot, I mean, it was, you could see how certain things might have transpired.
Yeah.
But, hey, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, at least for the Shakur family, I really wish Tupac's mom was around to see this.
Yeah.
I know people in his family had said that she kind of died heartbroken over her son. So, yeah, man, may he rest in shit. Hope he never gets out. I hope he sits in shit.
Yeah, that was like,
yeah, I didn't mean to talk about it.
Like, what are we doing?
He's not dead, but I hope he spends the rest of his life behind bars.
And I have a feeling, even if he go to jail, let's say he does go to jail behind the bars, I don't really feel like he's going to be around long. And I'm not wishing this on anybody, but I mean, you kind of, it's certain times and certain things that happen and shit. It's like, yeah, you kind of know what's coming and shit. Like,
well, let me be clear. When I said may he rest in shit, I'm going under the assumption that he won't spend a long time in Gen Pop.
Probably won't. No,
you know what I mean?
Definitely
so
won't.
I pretty much feel like his days are numbered.
Yeah.
And but whatever, man. That's in God's hands or whoever's hands. And as we proceed.
Horrible pun, but fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we was watching the YouTube, watching the internets, doing our little ones and twos, getting prepared for the next Mondo Matters podcast show, and man, I was watching Club Shay Shay, bro. I was really watching Club Shay Shay, and let me tell you what happened. I saw the thumbnail come across YouTube that says Brittany Renner enters Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
For an in-depth interview or whatever like that. First thought that crossed my mind. Unc, why you got this broad up here, bro? Why is Brittany Renner on Club Shay Shay? How does the roster go from Stephen A. Smith, Chris Brown. I think he had Magic Johnson. People that we look at and revere, look at as icons. Chad Johnson.
Yeah.
Brittany Renner.
Where
she fit here?
You got to remember one very important thing, and this is not me speculating anything, but I mean, just calling a spade a spade. Shannon Sharp is, a pretty well-off, wealthy man. Also happens to be single. So, shit.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And he was leaning in a little bit in the interviews. I seen you trying to put a little riz on. You ain't slick. You was keeping it professional, but I seen you.
Hey,
you ain't slick, motherfucker.
Hey, man.
But anywho, I seen it and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch that. But then I was like,
I'm going to watch it.
I seen another YouTube channel react to something she said, and I'm like, I can't watch that without watching the full interview first. So I watched the full interview, and she got to a point in the interview, which is the topic that we're going to talk about, which was her body count had came up. And it wasn't per se asked. She volunteered this information.
Yeah.
She said, I got a body count of 35.
He almost spit all his look out.
He almost spit all his look out.
I was like, well, okay.
I sat there and kept eating my Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No big deal.
That's not surprising to me.
Not really. No.
Doesn't matter to me. But does it matter? That's what we're talking about today. So our topic of conversation, Nove, let's get into this shit. Come on now. Come on. As a man, when courting a woman with intentions on something serious and intentional, does the lady's body count matter to you?
Does it matter? Yes. Should it matter? Depends on the person. It matters in the respect of this is pretty much going back to I Know It Matters season 2 when we talked about body counts and how they're viewed and everything else. I mean, it really comes down to how do you, like, if you're using your body count as some sort of like golden achievement or medal, then it's like, yeah, you look stupid. But if you're looking at it and you're using your body count, and let's say, I say it in this way. If you're volunteering your body count, one of two things. I feel like you're doing it for more of like, hey, listen, this is what I got. Like, yo, I got 40 bodies under my belt. I've done this before. Cool. You sound weird, but cool. In my humble opinion, sound weird. Or you're doing it, to, like, nobody ever wants to walk into a situation they ain't prepared for. Like, if you never ask somebody how many bodies they got, and, if it's a long-term relationship or some shit like that, and somebody bring up like, yeah, man, you was out here slinging, you got like, not enough to take over the world, but definitely a small city block. Like, yeah, there's some shit you probably want to talk about, because you never know how that person might view that. But like I always said before, there's always two sides to a coin. I believe there's something to be said about the character of a person as well. Like, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. It's all a matter of how you learn from the mistakes, or how, if you even view them as mistakes. If you even view them as mistakes. Do I feel like...
What should a person who has a high body count view their body count as?
I would say, me personally. All right, I'll speak for myself. Me personally, I don't view them as mistakes. I definitely learned young, and I definitely learned it took a little bit of time to understand, like, yeah, this ain't some shit you want to be like waving around. But I view them as, like experiences. They happen. And the thing about it is you kind of, if you feel like you need to like distance yourself or stay out the fucking way and just stay to yourself and take more accountability and take more pride in, letting everybody have it, then cool, do that. Like, I feel like it gets made into a big thing. And in some ways and aspects it should be, but in some ways and aspects it really shouldn't. Like, you know, you play both sides of that coin, and I can see both sides because I've literally walked on both sides. Like, as somebody with a decent body count, I can understand how somebody can look and be like, whoa. But I also understand it if I'm dealing with somebody with a high body count. It's like, oh, okay, you might have some questions.
Yeah, and that's my thing. So when she said 35, when I thought about how she has portrayed herself online, I thought to myself,
not surprising.
That is not surprising.
Yeah.
And the fact that she has been a marketer of fucking with athletes, fucking with high influential, high social status men, I would imagine that when you run in them circles that you might get around, because finding commitment in those circles is very tough for a woman and shit. So that's not surprising. Her history with her baby father, who's in the NBA, PJ Washington, they have broken up, but they raised a child together in separate homes. Seeing how she carries herself, when I heard the 35 number, I was kind of like, all right, whatever, cool. But it had made me think about what's my feelings on dealing with a female with a high body count. First thing that went to my head, have I ever encountered a female that had that high a body count? And then I said to myself, there hasn't been many females that I've asked their body count, but those of whom I do know, I don't think they have that high. If they did, though, you do a great job. You do a great job of not portraying as if you were like loose or you were just like sexually irresponsible or anything like that. But the highest body count that I've run across with a female that I know, if they was being truthful, was like 14. And now we talking about somebody that's in their early 30s. And that's like, I could see if you break it down like year by year, how you might get to that number. And it wouldn't be on some shit like, oh my God, whoa. Now if a motherfucker is 31 years old and they be like, they got a body count of 77. Come on, bro. And that's what kills me with like these motherfuckers. Like, I like the motherfuckers on Instagram. Tonight's conversation, they do the little studio audience shit too now.
Yeah.
My man with the top hat and the glasses and shit, Trip Fontaine and shit.
Yeah.
He had a clip up there where he was talking about body count. Like, I don't really run with niggas that even ask women like their body count. Or that shit not even a topic of conversation.
It's weird,
like why is that shit? Let me tell you why it's not weird. To me, if I'm getting into a relationship with you, or my intention is to date you with intentions on being in a relationship with you, your body count matters, but it doesn't have to be a deal breaker. Because that body count might be indications of some other information that I might want to know. So anybody that says, oh, blanket, body count doesn't matter. It's like, all right, well, what if you growing up in the projects in Newark, New Jersey, right? And you dating a chick in your projects. And it just happens to come upon the fact that her body count is, I fuck the majority of the niggas that's in this projects. Does her body count matter now? No, it don't matter, man. I mean, just... it's her character and shit. I mean, how you treat me going forward and shit. It's like, nah, nigga, I might go outside and run into a nigga that's still in love with you. And we in the projects. That's kind of like, I have to kind of think about that. You might get to a new job and the motherfucker be on shit. Oh yeah, you fucking with Keisha? Yeah. That's interesting and shit. I appreciate that and shit like that. She ain't fucked everybody except HR. I'm just letting you know that off top, bro. But I had her. Everybody on second shift had her. I'm just saying. Do you? Is it a deal breaker? No. But have you ever been in a relationship with somebody that you work with and she smashed people at the job? Do you know how niggas get territorial when they're around motherfuckers that they have laid with? If you saying it don't matter, as a man, you're not being aware of your surroundings, my guy. Because I got to watch all angles and shit.
All right, if we're talking about it from that aspect as far as like I said, there's some shit you want to know before you walk into, and I get that part, right? Like I said, it matters, but it's weird. Like, it matters to an extent. Does it matter?
Matters, but it shouldn't have to be a deal breaker.
It matters as far as like you said, you want to be aware of your surroundings. You want to be aware of who you're dealing with. But so here's the other side of that coin. And here's why I say it. You can, all right, let's say every person she's had sex with has been of a certain caliber, whatever case may be, certain whatever, right? Like she has a specific type. And let's say you deal with a woman that's only had sex with 4 people. But the 4 people she's had sex with have been like, nigga, what the fuck? Are you putting more onus on the 4 people? Because it's just like, yo, like what state of mind were you in? Or are you putting more onus on the person that has more bodies, but it's been like consistent? You can see the like, what's the name of shit.
So are you trying to say like it's less about the numbers and more about the who?
I feel like it's more about your numbers come into play. I feel like if it's like hitting those crazy ass numbers, like you said, like 77 or
That's
something.
what I'm saying.
Like shit like that. But if we talking like you said, 13, 14, right?
Right.
And let's say those 13, 14 and shit, like, even if you wanted to do it like, we're almost 40 years old, right?
Speak for yourself.
He's almost 40 years old. You got more grade than me anyway. Let's not do that.
I'm 25. I just stressful year and shit. That's it.
Let's say motherfuckers actually went into the premise, right, of, all right, I lost my virginity at 20. Rare now, but let's say it's the case. Let's say you had one body after your 20s up until this age now. You're almost damn near at 20 bodies right now. And it's been, quote unquote, kind of responsible, I guess, if you want to look at it, one body a year.
Yeah. That's fairly responsible.
Like, but somebody will hear 20 and not hear the context and just be like, oh, shit. Now, here's the other side of that, right? Let's say you caught 17 bodies from age 15 to...
Let me give you my shit. So, like, my number, I have 24. That's my bodies. But what's weird about my 24 is, as a newfound Christian man, I like to say my body count really 4.
I'm sorry, what?
I feel like my body count really 4 and shit.
You feel like?
I feel that way.
You self-identify with 4?
Yeah. That's what I say.
All right.
Only because I had 20 of those in a very, very short span of time in a certain particular time of my life when I was going through something.
Oh, okay.
I had gone through a little bit of a phase, and I had racked up 20 like within a year, 18-month span.
That sounds
it was going
nuts.
It was a lot going
now
on.
That sounds nuts, but you know what? Go ahead, continue. I ain't even gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
So I was in a situation where new car, doing good at my job, coming off a heartbreak. I was in the best shape of my life, talking my shit. I was still a rapper.
You was on your Drake shit, do right and kill everything.
Yeah. And it's like, yo, I got a party going on. You want to come through? Nah, fuck it. I'll show my face. And then whatever happens, happens. We got a little after work get together. You want to come through? Yeah, fuck it. And then a lot of things in my head that would have been like, all right, let me think about this. This ain't a smart idea. This is probably going to be a no. Turned into like, yes, cuz fuck it. I'm already down this path anyway and shit. I'm having fun. I'm getting a lot of practice for my future wife. That's the way I looked at it. But to have 20 in an 18-year span, if a female came to me and was like, yo, you got a body count of 24 chicks, bro, that's kind of high to me. But I say, yo, if you took away a moment in my life or a couple of chapters in my book, you would see that there is a dichotomy or there is a contrast between who I am now and who I was before then.
Of course.
But there's something in the middle of that sandwich that's kind of like, what would you, if you met me there, you wouldn't think like, oh, that's somebody I would want to marry or be in a serious relationship. Like, nah, that's a hoe.
I always look at things this way, and maybe this is a weird way to look at it, but it's something I've adopted and it kind of makes sense to me. If you fall in love with the person that I presently am, just know that it wouldn't have happened without the person I was. And I feel like this is where like that part gets tricky because it's like, I can hear a number and no matter, let's be honest, like I get tired of these like conversations about body count, as you know, like we had before. I hate it, one, because it's subjective. Like, if you love somebody, any number above 1 or 2 is high. Like,
I don't think it's high.
like, even if it's, even like, nobody wants to hear a number relative anything.
I mean,
but
nobody
low.
want to hear about your ex.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost, this falls into that same line of questioning of like, those awkward ass, well, what did your exes, or did you do anything special? Like, what sexually did you do with your exes or some shit like that? Like, why are we talking about that? And I understand the reasoning behind it. Because, of course, you want to get to understand the person on a deeper level and shit like that. But, yeah, there's some questions and shit that's like, yeah, you don't really need to ask that. Because it's, on the other side of that is, do you really want that answer?
Nobody really wants that answer.
And are you
curiosity kills the cat, and you kind of want to know, because when you in search of intimacy with your partner, a lot of times you get caught up in the fact that you'll hear a story. You might hear your partner suggest to you, or they talk about a specific time in their life when they was like, "Man, I used to be real wild," and it's on some shit like, I've been with your ass for like 4 years. I ain't seen your ass real wild yet.
I ain't seen a wild.
So now the questions is going in my head.
Like, yo,
it's up to me, like, whether or not I want to filter them out, or whether or not, I can't help myself. I gotta ask, like, what the fuck was going on that turned you into like freak of the week,
like this person
type shit like that? Because I would love to experience that.
Yeah, that's
no. That was the old me. I don't get down like that. It's like, wait a minute.
Nah, fuck that. Nah.
Hold on.
Nah, we need that old motherfucker right now. Like, what's going on?
And it's like, well, that brings up a whole another podcast episode of whether or not you need to educate your partner on what unlocks shit that was before. Yes, but anyhow, sir. I digress. But yeah, I feel like, to be honest with you, brother, I feel like it's different when it comes to women. Most of the times, and I hate to break it down to just genders, but most of the times when it comes to the moment of truth or whether or not we about to have sex, a lot of the times men assume the role of the person that's on the hunt for sex, and the woman is granting access to the sex. So if I have run across a woman, or if I was to run across a woman that has a high body count, it would hit in my head, even if I don't ask, maybe I just found out. It would hit in my head like, yo, you said yes to 50 dudes, and you 39 years old. In my head, it would kind of register to me, you say yes fairly easily. For you to give it up to 50 different individuals, it makes me question whether or not you have like a filter that is very strong, or you just grant access to whoever you are attracted to. That in turn, as somebody who might want to take you seriously in a relationship, might say to myself, I'm not saying this is a deal breaker, but it'll bring up a question to me of whether or not, even once we together, what happens when you run into somebody that you are attracted to then? Is your filter that thin to where you be on some shit like, man, I ain't but so many times about to say no to this nigga at my job and shit. I'm about to give it up, goddammit.
I've been trying. I've been out here fighting.
Because if you got a high body count, you have to start questioning like whether or not you got a lot of discipline when it comes to like sex, whether or not you use it as a profession, whether you're using it to like procure resources,
could
or
be
whatever.
Could also
Are you a sex addict?
Could be a defense mechanism too.
In what way?
Could be a defense mechanism in the way of sometimes physical interaction is a lot easier to deal with than the actual emotional interaction. Like sexual is fairly transactional. It happens, wham, bam, that's it. I don't really have to deal with you after that.
So easy.
So it's rather like this might be somebody's way of this is the closest they get to or want to get to that emotional state, because everything else is just like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. And that requires some digging too. Also reminds me of a good old J. Cole lyric you brought up not too long ago. It's fun fucking them hoes till you realize you is the hoe.
That you is the hoe.
So we could talk about body count and we could talk about high body counts all day. At the end of the day, let's not get it twisted. There's always somebody on the other side of that motherfucker too. And that leads it to like, I can judge. It's real easy to judge somebody and look at like, yo, your body count mad high.
What's yours?
But then, you look at the motherfuckers that was engaging. It ain't like they were sitting over here like, I don't know if I should play around. No, they pulled that trigger too. So it's an equal exchange at the end of the day. Like if you're going to be a hoe, okay, cool. But on the other side of that, you don't really have the access or the gumption.
I love that word, gumption.
To sit here and judge as well, because you out here doing the same dirt. Your clothes might not be as dirty, and it might be viewed differently because you're a man. So as men, we're supposed to have all these high ass body counts, which is hilarious to me because even if you do have a high body count, you might be trash.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Like, all right, perfect example. Porn stars, porn.
Mm-hmm.
All of them do the same thing. Some are fairly better at it than others, correct?
Yeah.
There are some people you see or hear names of, you be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely watching that porn.
Legend.
You know what she do. Then there's other that get a lot of work. And you know they get a lot of work. Because if you fucking search their name, they got like 300 videos. And you ain't clicking on none of them.
Yeah, no.
Why? Because even though you got all that practice, you still might be trash.
Zion old piece name?
Oh, Mariah
Mills.
Oh,
God. Clicking on your shit. Crazy. But I do think it says something of... Let's get real for a second, bro.
Let's cut the shit.
There is a double standard.
Oh, absolutely.
A man with a high body count versus a woman with a high body count.
Absolutely.
If you ask any woman if they want a man with a low body count,
no,
or a man that's a virgin, they're gonna be like,
no,
I ain't trying to fuck some nigga that don't get no bitches.
Or they'll look at it, I ain't trying to teach nobody. That's the other way.
Or that. And that's a whole nother discussion about chicks not wanting to teach dudes sexually.
It sounds like episode
Y'all
4.
trash.
Oh shit.
Nah, they really trash.
That's how you feel?
Bro, it's really fucking trash for real.
You know what? I'll give you 3 minutes.
3 minutes on.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Go off.
Y'all fucking women out there. Y'all do all y'all educational shit. All y'all talking shit. All y'all jumping to conclusions shit.
Wow.
And y'all leave that shit in a group chat with y'all friends.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all won't go to y'all man. Y'all won't go to y'all husband and try to tell that man like, yo, X, Y, and Z does not please me.
Wow.
We should try A, B, and C. We've been doing the same positions for the last 4 years, my man.
I said,
can we try something different?
I said,
and matter of fact, if you're uncomfortable taking initiative on doing said position,
I said,
let me get you to the point up to that new position by initiating that shit. I'm about to throw my leg up on the kitchen counter tonight. Do you? I'm about to pop up into the fucking bedroom with the schoolgirl outfit.
Amen.
What's wrong with you? You scared? To me, I feel like women be so wrapped up into this shit of submissiveness in the bedroom that they lose track of the fact that sex is supposed to be an intimate thing between a man and a woman by Bible standards.
Yeah.
And that at some point in time, whatever the fuck we doing is going to get old. If you want to keep this shit spicy, or if you want to give me some critique on how the shit get better, that shit has to come out verbally and say some shit.
Okay.
It's a lot of, hold on. It's a lot of motherfuckers out. Hold on. It's a lot of motherfuckers out there in the world that ain't getting no pussy because somebody, a female, deemed that they dick was trash. And guess what? That man is sitting up in the crib playing Halo, and he has no idea that his dick is trash because nobody told him. She just told all her girlfriends in the group chat.
Said Halo, I'm done.
Seriously.
Shit.
It's a lot of motherfuckers that's incels that only fuck one girl,
man,
and the shit was trash, and nobody ever told him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we do it too. We don't tell girls like, yo, y'all, that shit was trash. Shit was boring.
No.
Me coming out the bathroom and you just laying on the bed, it was kind of trash.
I feel like we do something a little bit different, right? We tell half truths, which is just as bad. We tell half truths. So if it's one of those,
I do tell half truths.
It's one of those situations.
I do that.
Wow. And where it's like, if, all right, I'm trying to think. All right. If you ever got the question before, like, where does that rank? Or how did that, whatever? Or is there anything, this, that, and the third? Depending on who it is, if you have the relationship, you could be completely honest. A good majority of the time what's going to happen is this. You're going to factor in two things. One, you're going to think back to immediately how long ago you had sex before this moment. And if it was too long ago, you're going to make a bargain. You're going to make a bargain with yourself. Can you afford to tell the truth and potentially go on another 8 to 10 month hiatus Probably not. So you know what you do? Nah, it was cool. It was good. Especially if it was the first encounter. You're looking at it more so like, all right, we can get better at this. I believe, and I've learned, like, yo, just be honest. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you ain't going to get no pussy. And you know what? Being a guy, that's 50-50 anyway.
And I think people underestimate the fact that a lot of people are competitive sexually.
Absolutely.
It might take your critique and be some shit like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? That's how you feel?
Fuck it. All right. I'd rather do my Googles.
Right.
Watch out next time.
Watch this shit.
Because I have been guilty of, like, receiving certain...
Critiques?
Receiving certain...
Critiques?
Nah, not critiques.
Tips?
No. I'm talking about me being the receiver and critiquing the female and giving her false feedback.
Oh.
So it's like, how was that? It's like, yeah, that shit was good. And I know damn well in the back of my head, like, the shit was mid.
But it's still, all right,
At best.
Here's why I stopped doing it and I don't do it anymore. It don't help me. It don't help me to lie to you. Especially when it pertains to pleasing me. It's like, if I don't tell you, all right, put it this way. No matter what, and like I said, sometimes we do this whole thing of bargaining and we do the whole thing of, you know what, I don't want to say anything to rock the boat. But if you're asking me, yo, like on the whole scale of how was the head or something like that, there's a way to say it to not be an asshole.
That's what I was going to say.
But there's a way you have to be honest about it. Because if I keep my fucking mouth shut, I can't complain about it because I've done nothing to change. Similar to the question you asked off fucking mic. Off mic. Can you complain or do you have the right to complain about a situation or a circumstance you are responsible for? And this is one of those times. I can't complain that I'm getting trash head if I don't tell you your head is trash.
That's a good. I should have brought that example. That's a good example. Yeah, you really can't say shit. And I would say that, yeah, it is an art to critiquing somebody in bed when their shit is mid, that you could kind of put it in a way that is actually sexy to get exactly what you want and shit like that. It's like, yo, what you doing is good, but you know what really turned me on is you fucking just spit on my shit right now. It's like, that doesn't sound abrasive at all. And I'm about to get what the fuck I want. And it's like, you have instruction now. And that's one less instruction that I got to give you the next time. So that's we got to get better at that. Men and female. And we got to get back on topic.
I got a pro tip for you real quick before we hop back on topic. Whatever advice or tips you want to give, it would be best to give it at the moment, at the time, while it's happening, rather than having those post-game press conference sessions.
Yeah, when the motherfucker think they did good.
Yeah, like, yo, do that shit mid-game. Like, yo, let's throw audible. Like, yo, there's nothing wrong with doing some sexy shit, kissing them, be like, yo, do this real quick.
You wait too long to be on some shit like that. Last night was amazing. It was like, yeah, but next time, can you do it?
Like, exactly. Like, yo, I don't need a footnote after the fucking.
Next time, can you pay some attention to my balls, though?
Oh, my God. All right, back on topic. Where we at?
Yeah, so we're talking about body count, and we were talking about whether or not, as a man, a female's body count plays a role into whether or not you would take a female seriously. My opinion is that it matters, but it's not a deal breaker. To me, if I'm being quite honest, the who matters more than the number. I'm not going to be so inquisitive and curious about the who, though, for me to just come out and be on some shit like, yeah, so who did you fuck? But let's just say I live in the real world, and it just happens to come out, though. A lot of times, let's keep it a bean, a lot of us is fucking with coworkers. A lot of us marry coworkers. A lot of us get in a relationship with coworkers.
A lot of niggas is just talkative.
A lot of niggas. And I would say in 2023, the niggas talk more than the bitches do.
Yeah, man.
So let's just happen to say that a lot of times you find out who your lady was fucking with just through conversation or hearsay.
Similar to that conversation before. Yo, I heard she did this. Like, bruh.
I remember before I start dating my wife. Wow. I actually remember before I started dating my wife that somebody who was a friend at the time had came up to me and was like, oh, you fucking with such and such? Yo, you know she fuck blah, 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 right? And I was like, I don't even know who the fuck that is. Why the fuck does that matter to me and shit?
Niggas be out here volunteering.
Like, that shit was like mad, like
mad dumbass.
You ever have a nigga put you in a situation or somebody put you in a situation and be like, what the fuck you want me to do with that
how
information?
you want me to react to that?
Like I like this person. Right. Like, I got feelings for this person. Like, what the fuck you want me to do with that type shit? It's like, I just thought you should know. Like, okay, nigga, what the fuck?
It sound like a motherfucker that got his feelings hurt. That's what it sound like.
So let's flip the conversation right quick.
Right.
Do you feel like it works in the opposite way? Because I had already made the declaration, and most people would say that this is true, that most women don't want a man with a low body count. So do you look at your body count, and should I look at my body count and look at our prospectus as being good, committed male partners in a monogamous relationship as something that should be a deterrent to females? Should somebody look at our body counts? Should a female look at our body counts and be like, yo, I don't know. That has me questioning whether or not you would be faithful, or I'm going to have some drama lined up, or what?
I don't like talking about body count with females, honestly, because the second you give them even an area code shouting distance of what your body count is, they kind of look at it as a challenge after that. Like, more so like, can I tame this person? Whereas like, yeah, now it just feels weird. Like, you almost feel like you're getting boxed in, and it's a level of like, this is also a reason, like, I don't like two questions specifically. I don't like talking really about two things. I don't like talking about body counts. I don't even really like sexual talks, like initial stages of dealing with somebody. Because I feel like there's a level of intrigue that comes in that sometimes shadows and takes over the whole conversation. It's like, yeah, I was just glancing on that. I didn't want to stay there. But it's like, you start even referencing or talking about sexual conquest or sexual things you might have done or things that you deem as normal now. And they get a peek behind that curtain of like, oh, I don't even know where your ceiling is. It's like, yeah, you're not supposed to. But it's like, they start looking at that like, oh yeah, I can tame him. Cause, you know, think of it this way. Like, you have somebody with a quote unquote high body count where they view it as, oh, he must be this. And if I can have him all to myself, then I win. Where it's like, all right, cool. But, you know, I'm a lot more than a body count. So to answer your question,
how would it make you feel if somebody told your significant other that you was a hoe once y'all was already together, though? Because do you think it would matter to your significant other then if you didn't tell them already? Like, bitch, you know that dude, you know that nigga a hoe, right? It's like, oh, I didn't know he was a hoe. We never talked about that.
I feel like if this is like my significant other, like my girl,
your girl,
yeah, she would already know that side.
Well, why?
Because
what you just said was it just that it wouldn't even need to be a conversation, though.
But what I said initially was this. I said in the preliminary stages, there's no real reason to talk about that. But if we're at that stage where you're my girl, oh yeah, I've already opened that bag up.
When does preliminary end then?
When you get that title.
Okay.
Like, if we're like in those stages, oh yeah, we'll have some conversations. But if we've reached a point where it's like, yo, I'm going to put a title on something, then yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you know, like, yeah, I used to be out here. Used to be crazy.
What's scarier? We'll take the genders off of it. What's scarier? Courting or being intentional with the intention on being in a relationship with somebody and they say their body count is plus 50, or they've had plus 10 serious relationships?
We the same age we at now?
Yeah. What's more concerning?
What's the definition of serious relationship?
Serious, I would say we loved each other. We were in love, loved each other, and we was together for at least a year. And you 40. Started when I was 16. That's what?
It's 24
years?
24 years, 10 serious relationships. So you said I love you in all of them. Yeah, that's a little bit of a flag. Honestly, to me, because it feels like you don't get no reprieve or you don't get no reprieve. Like, even if I want to factor it off and like, let's just say round it off to the lowest, which I know it's not, of a year apiece. That means for 10 consecutive years of your life, you were straight in and out. Like with no like downbeat. But let's say if I wanted to round it up, right?
Yeah.
Let's say average now, 2.5 to 3. That means at this point, I'm literally meeting you. You just came out of one. So when exactly did you have time to like heal? Like body count is one of them things to me where it's like, I know everybody likes to say, oh, everybody has a whole stage. They don't. Not really. Everybody doesn't have the whole stage. Or everybody has a different variation of what a whole stage would be.
A lot of these men out here don't even qualify for a whole phase.
So yeah, it's like, it's different. So the body count, as we're saying, like even if it's, you said what, 50?
Yeah.
All right, let's see, 50. All right, let's say same parameters. Since 16, right? You had 2 dudes ever since you was 16. That's about 2 a year. Is that wild? No, not really.
Oh, you're talking about body count wise?
Mm-hmm. 2 dudes per year?
It's not wild.
I mean, you can get to.
It's not wild.
You can get to.
No, it's not wild, but it's
but
like
it's
you,
not,
you would be doing it the years in your head. Like, okay, how many years did you just do 2 though? Like, did you have some years where you did 10, and then you came back the next year and you only had 1 because you was in a relationship or some shit?
Off,
so
yeah.
like,
so
it would be hard for me to not look at that 1 year you had without having, like I said, not a deal breaker. You would have to do some shit like, okay, I wonder what she was going through that year when she fucked 10 dudes in that one season.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be on some shit like,
you was out here.
I'm a chip away at that shit within our talking. I'm gonna chip away at that shit. Like,
but even still, the relationship is kind of like
when you was 22.
All right, so even if we did the relationship, if you had 10 serious relationships from the age of 16, let's say you had a 7-year relationship, so that's 23. So that brings you up to 23. So you had 9 other serious relationships in the span of 17 years, and we could do 3.5. So all that. Like, I think what it comes down to is like, yo, I can't, like, I look at it straight plain like this. I take love very seriously. I don't think I've ever said it that many times. Like 10 to like 10 different people. Like, nah.
I like it.
Like, I don't, that's where it starts to like play with like, I feel like that falling in love easy, and I've been that type of person at one time to like fall quick. That shit is dangerous. That shit is dangerous. Like at some point sex gets boring and you have to like take a step back. But like that falling in love shit, that's like mental. Like that has dependency and all types of shit written on it. And it's like, yo, you did that shit 10 times straight. Like you ain't take no breather or nothing. It's just been like bang, bang.
A chick that, if I fuck with a female that caught feelings from me quickly, but I also know her body count history, it would also make me question like whether or not like, oh, you just the type of motherfucker that like falls in love fast. Maybe you fall in love through the process of sex, because a lot of people who emotionally can't connect with somebody on an intimate level through, conversation or same ideals and things of that nature, they might use the physicality of sex. And, it's been proven in studies and science of like the deeper the physical connection and the deeper the physical pleasure is, leads to deeper emotional connections, which aren't necessarily always real. It would lead me to question like, damn, you just like fast when it comes to like your emotions and shit like that. I ain't saying like you just give it up to any old body or some shit like that, but like I'm pretty sure we've all been in situations where we start messing with a female and it's like, yo, damn, I think I love you or some shit like that. It's like, yeah, we've known each other for like not a minute or so or some shit. And it's like the sex has been great and all this other shit. And that's that leads me to another conversation right quick before we go to this Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift shit. Do you think that sometimes that we would assign the way somebody treats us sexually with how they actually feel about us? As a man, right? The reason why I asked that question, I'm trying to go A+ game every single time. I don't care if it's the marriage I'm in or the one night stand that was 16 years ago or whatever. I'm trying to give you the best every time. Why? Partial of it is insecurity, because there's so much pressure on men to perform, right? We live in an over-sexualized society and shit like that. Nobody wants to be classified as the motherfucker with the weak dick and shit like that. So you trying to show out every time. Cool. But just because I fuck you well, it's not an indication on how I feel about you as an emotional, intimate partnership or connection and shit like that. And I kind of feel like women are usually considered to be the more emotional of us, our genders and shit, right? When it comes to like emotional pair bonding from sex. I feel like whenever the sex is good, there's an indication that this motherfucker must really, 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 really fuck with me. He really, really, really likes me. He's only fucking me like this. And I'm hate to tell you, I do this shit to everybody. You know when you go buy your car insurance and motherfuckers be like, yeah, what fucking insurance you want and shit like that? It's like all the highest deductibles. Like, I want the base package. You getting this shit. Everybody get the base package.
Nah, you want to know, it's like that. Oh my God, yeah. I've seen so many motherfuckers do this. Salesmen and motherfucking like car salesmen and people that work at like Best Buy and shit. Like, you walk into a store and you see the perfect fill in the blank TV, whatever. It's the last one there. Yo, it's this price, such and such. All right, can you do this for me? All right, how about I do this? I'll do this. And all you have to do is this, but it has to be done today. All right, I'll sweeten the pot. I'll do this. All right, cool. Dope.
Let's do it.
All right, good. Thank you. Walk out. Damn, I just got a great deal. Next motherfucker walks in. Same goddamn deal.
$10 cheaper, man.
Like, yo, it feels so good. It's happening only to me.
It's not.
It's a standard. But I feel like, in a toxic way, I feel like that's how you're supposed to approach it a little bit. Like, I feel like, yeah, I have my own standard to live up to on top of whatever I'm doing for you. Like, I have a baseline of like, this is where I need to be.
I disagree. I mean, we have to bring this for a topic for another day, but I really disagree and shit. I really feel like you should hold out certain shit for special circumstances. You get what I mean? So like,
you mean like the whole like certain shit you won't do only but for this person type of thing, or certain acts you won't perform only for this person?
I mean, no. Because
if you talk
less about the performance, less about the person and more about the scenario. Like, I feel like a one night stand shouldn't get the same sex you would give your wife on y'all honeymoon, or that first time y'all having sex after y'all wedding type shit. Like, I'm about to give you the same mouth I gave a bitch on 18th Ave, fucking 11 years ago or some shit like that. Like, nah, nigga, I need to put some fucking spice on this fucking situation. If it ain't the actual act itself, maybe it's the lead up to it and shit. How I build the anticipation up, or I'm about to bust out, different levels of shit talking and all this other shit.
All right, so
I feel like it should be a little bit different and special.
All right, let me ask you a question, right?
Situations.
All right. Have you or do you believe in having a sexual encounter without oral sex?
I don't like it.
That's what
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it at all and shit like that. I don't like it at all. But as a younger man, I mean, as an older man now and shit, I'm kind of like on some shit like, I could see how there have been situations where I should have been like, nah, I should not have done that. That wasn't even necessary and shit. I'm just showing off for no fucking reason and shit. Because now I'm giving my wife the same treatment I gave to some fucking broad that I met at Cage Lounge and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
See, I
sex is all about your pleasure and shit. I mean, you try to go in and pleasure your partner and shit, but you want to also pleasure yourself and make sure you come away fulfilled. But I feel like you do run across certain people where the connection is special, and you want the act of sex to be special as well. So it might be certain things that you might pull out your bag for certain people that you don't pull out for others. And I feel like if you have a travel bag, if you got a generic bag, if you have a basic entry level package bag, it should have a certain list of things that you do and a certain list that you don't do that you reserve for special individuals. That's just me.
I kind of see where you're coming from. I can nod a little bit to what you're saying. But I feel like what I was basically more so leaning into was the effort should never be different.
Oh, nah. Yeah,
That's
effort,
what I was saying.
Effort always should be there.
I'm never going to go into a situation and be like,
effort always should be there.
all right, I don't really feel like playing today. I'm going to just go out here, get a few completions, get out.
Yeah, no. But I ain't going to go like, Dre the Peace guy route and just be fucking staring into your eyes and shit if we just having this one little hookup and shit. Like, no, we're not doing that. But like, as we proceed, last half of the show, we end up with talking about some other shit that was in the news. It was any NFL fans out there? Anybody watch football? Anybody got fantasy football? Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champion, probably regarded as the greatest tight end to ever grace an NFL field. If you want to look at the statistics of the things,
Think you better than Gronk?
Statistically, it would say by the time he's done, yes.
Okay.
Right? Greater than rings, I don't know. Better, probably. But phenomenal tight end, no matter how you slice it. Good looking guy, has had a reality TV show at one point. Got a lot of commercials out right now.
Got the podcast with his brother.
The Kelce's. I think they had a documentary too that's coming up on Netflix. The Kelce's. Yeah, he been marketing himself a lot, but we hadn't heard about him off the field in the dating relationship realm until he started dating this black girl. And let me tell you what all the black girls were saying when we found out he was dating a black girl. Oh, that makes sense. He kind of got a little flavor, like he attractive, he kind of sexy. He got that Paul Walker, Justin Timberlake type of shit, dark eyebrows. He could pass, like, if I was going to fuck a white guy, like, that would be one of them and shit.
Got a little swag on him. A little swag.
He was dating a black girl. She was kind of fine. She was fire.
She wasn't kind of nothing. She was fine.
She was sexy.
It wasn't no kind of nothing,
right,
bro.
They broke up. She got a little messy after they broke up. There was some shit posted online. There were some rumors that had got spread online that one of the reasons why they broke up was the fact that he made her go 50-50 on shit. We going out to eat. We going to split the bill. We going to split some of the responsibilities. He ain't give her no allowance. Shit like that. That was the rumor.
My man.
I don't know. God bless him, though.
My man.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Not at all.
All right, so they broke up. All that nasty shit came out. Cool. Fast forward 2023 season. There was some rumors that he was romantically linked to pop star Taylor Swift. The rumors turned into actual factuals. She actually showed up to the last Kansas City Chiefs fans, sat in the press box, watched him play.
Next to his mama.
Mama said she liked her and all this other shit. They were spotted leaving together. They've been hanging out a lot. Travis Kelce, over the last week, has gained 860,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah. What else? What else? There's more.
No, what else? Tell me.
Jersey sales have gone up 400%. I don't even know how you fucking calculate that.
It go up 100%, and then it's 4 times that.
Like, Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, he popping now.
Yeah.
Brings up a question, man. Got to talk about it. Could you handle, as a man, being in a relationship with a girl that's more popping than you? Now, I'm not expecting that I'm ever going to be dating Janet Jackson, nigga. Like, I mean, even though that's a pipe dream. But let's bring it down to a smaller scale, right? Situation that we may or may not have been in. I've been in situations where I've been in rooms with a female that I was dating, and people in the room knew her, and she had to introduce me. It's like, oh, what's up, Kim? Oh, yeah, this is my boyfriend, Justin, or whatever like that. Or we dating or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward when the majority of the rooms you in, you're being introduced. And you can't really take her into too many rooms where she's been being introduced. And on Taylor Swift level, it's like, oh, well, shit, everybody know you. What the fuck? Where can I introduce you at? So could you be in a relationship with somebody that is more popular than you? Maybe in your neighborhood, maybe in your town, maybe in your state. Maybe they got a lot of social media influence. Maybe they might be a YouTuber or some shit like that.
I've dealt with that. It's a little weird. Like you said, it's a little awkward. You know? No pun intended, and please don't cancel me for that. It's weird walking into the room and feeling like the bitch. Like, it's weird.
Canceled.
Like, the sidebar. You are definitely the sides to this meal. It's a little weird, but I mean, it kind of takes the pressure off you. It kind of does. Like, you don't have to worry about bringing the sizzle. I mean, at least I say it's more outside pressure than it is internal. Like, all the pressure outside is, oh, you going there? What you gonna wear? Because you know she gonna give a fuck. I'm gonna wear whatever the fuck I want to wear. I feel like on that scale that Kelce is on, like, I feel like one definitely has the popularity by far, but I feel like scheduling wise, they go through about the same shit. Like, I mean, they live a life as to where it's like, it's hard. It would be easier for Travis Kelce to have somebody normal than I feel like Taylor Swift to have somebody normal. Because if Travis Kelce,
easier for Travis Kelce to have somebody normal than it would be for Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I feel like if you saw Travis Kelce at like KC Outback or Ponderosa with fill in the blank, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody.
Somebody that we don't know, you'd be like, oh, all right, cool.
But if you saw like Taylor Swift on the red carpet with like Muhammad, the motherfucker that worked at McDonald's, like, oh, everybody's gonna know everything about Muhammad Monday morning.
So that's the big issue, like, that overarches the conversation, right, about hypergamy. Usually women seek out men who are higher in social status, or at least even or higher in social status or income than they are, right? It's like, what the hell do you do when the roles are reversed? Like, my wife or my girl makes more money than me. She's more popular than me.
By a long
She's got more social influence than me. She's more recognizable than I am. Like, how does that make you feel as a man, like, over time? To me, I would say, while it wouldn't bother me in the moment, I think over time it would kind of chip away at, like,
the ego?
Certain. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, it would chip away at my fucking ego.
Yeah, I get that.
I'll be honest with shit like, yo, bro.
All right, so
I can't afford that. The fuck?
All right, so my question to you then would be, it would be difficult for you mentally, right? How do you feel?
It could get difficult.
It could get difficult. All right. So would you feel more comfortable, or would it play more into your ego to date somebody on equal or lesser footing?
Yeah. I would think that most men would prefer that. Most men would prefer that.
I think most men just want low-key quiet. Low-key.
I think men would, yeah, any man wants quiet. But I don't think that a man making $75,000 a year will start dating a chick that made $175,000 a year and be on some shit like, I'm not going to approach this relationship differently. Yeah, we got two different lifestyles.
Yeah, you can't say certain things.
The conversation gets different and shit.
You
start talking about vacation, and I'm like, yo, we just went on vacation in January. You talking about planning some shit for May? It's like, my nigga, I'm trying to put back what we just spent in Jamaica, my dude. Like, what the hell we doing? Type shit. Like, oh, I mean, I just figured like we got it. Da 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 da. It's like, no, you got it.
Well, low key that kind of happens now, and it's not even really a tale of like somebody having more popularity or something like that. Like, if you deal with somebody that works from home and they have the resources as to where vacations are just spur of the moment, like that in itself can it's a different stratosphere. That's a different world altogether. Like, if you have to wake up, you have a schedule, you go to work, you come home, it changes dramatically when all you have to do is wake up and roll over. And
yeah,
like it changes things.
Sure.
There's a whole different perspective on life.
But even like if they want some more popping shit, right? They getting money and all this other shit, and they just nigga like hella Amazon packages coming to the crib.
Oh, yeah,
they about to go shopping again on Saturday, and it's like, yo, you want to come with me to the store or some shit? And it's like, yo, you counting your dollars, or maybe you ain't really got it like that. It's like, man, you just bought a new car and shit. Like, I'm trying to get my shit fixed.
Well, I mean, I get how that can be a difficult circumstance, but at some point, it's like, you got to realize like two realities of the situation. Women now make more money than men do.
On average.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
They have higher, the jobs that women get nowadays seem to be higher grossing, seem to have more benefits, more accoutrement than what a man would get at this point. And they also spend more than we spend.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So, I mean, this is kind of like where it would be viewed for us as different or out the element. It's just normal standard operating procedure. Like, I think the difference is this. If we had a job that we were able to do all of this type of stuff with, right? And then we had to downgrade that job, our lifestyle would downgrade according to what we had to do, to what we had to adjust to, right? I think the difference is I don't think I've ever met a woman in which the circumstances affected her lifestyle, or for lack of saying, like, I don't think her lifestyle ever slowed down based on her financial status.
I gotta tighten my belt and shit. Like, I can't.
Yeah, because
things.
I feel like at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to if I don't have it, somebody got it for me.
Right.
So
No! What you saying, man?
So I mean,
what you saying out here? I ain't finna.
I said what I said.
Do a little something strange for some change and shit.
Not even that. I mean, it's just like
I'm gonna find some resources.
I mean, it like.
Say it.
It's 2023, man. Let's be honest. It is what it is. Like, you know, that old saying, no romance without finance, or a romance without finance is a nuisance. Like, no man ever said that in their life. And I feel like it's just part of it. Like, I mean, it ain't no hating shit. It is what it is. Like, I've heard plenty of women say, like, yo, if you're a woman, I don't know how you can have wet pussy and have an empty wallet. Like,
wet pussy in a dry bank account.
In a dry bank account. And like, it is what it is. Like, even the people we choose to sit up here and say stuff like, yo, I don't know how this happened, or I don't know how that happened. I do. Niggas happen. Cause for every 50 to 100 people that be like, nah, I ain't doing it, it's 2,000 to 3,000 like, I'll do it.
Hell yeah, I'll do it.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
I ain't got a hit.
And I'm not even hating, because if I had that, I'd probably be the same well.
I think every man has a desire to provide for his female whenever you're in a relationship, and it gives you a ego boost. It gives you a boost to your spirit to feel like you are providing for somebody that you love, and that gives off the indication that they would need your services in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If you get in with somebody that's popping, there is a small gap of like, yo, you really don't need me for like any finances. You really don't need me for any resources. Anything that you need from me, you can make a phone call and get a motherfucker to be at the drop of a dime, concierge style, to take care of this thing and shit. So on one end, you can kind of look at it and be on some shit like, oh, she really with me because she like fucking with me and shit. Like, it's just really about me. On the other end, it's sort of like the moment that you don't provide that thing anymore, you know that she won't be dropping back to like, you know what? He don't feel my 80%, but at least he got the resources. Like, what happens when you don't need the resources? I can just get the fuck up out of here and replace you easily.
Exactly.
Not saying that's the case with them and shit, but they look like, I can't say they're a cute couple because I can't look at them like that.
They
but
look awesome. They look awesome.
Whatever.
I mean,
I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, so
I will say this is interesting. And I read this online. Somebody was like, "Yo, he went from being John B to John Deere." I started laughing my ass off. Like if you look, he got rid of the little suave beard cut and everything. He just went with the mustache mountain. I was like, all right, I get that. All right, it's funny and it's interesting, but hey, man.
All right, let me ask you some real nigga shit though. Could you see somebody having an ex like he had in that level of attractiveness, and also seeing the attractiveness in Taylor Swift? Because I can't.
Wait, say that again? Can I see somebody?
Let's take Travis Kelce out.
All right.
Let's say your ex was Travis Kelce's ex, the black chick.
Mm-hmm.
Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Would you also be the type of motherfucker that would find Taylor Swift attractive as well? Don't laugh. Answer the question.
Nah.
Me neither.
Nah.
Me neither, bro.
Nah. And this is like one of those things where it's like, just from a preference standpoint, I feel like there's a little bit of a downgrade as far as that. But
could you ever go from like a chick with a fat ass to a chick with no ass? Or any body part or any physical feature?
Any physical feature you're used to, and you can. It takes some adjustment.
Really?
It takes some adjusting. But I feel like it's a bigger adjustment here as well, because whereas you're going from somebody that was physically way more attractive. Now, I'm not trying to be mean about it or anything. She was just way more attractive. In my opinion, she was way more attractive to somebody who is, other than physically attractive, more dominant in every single way, shape, or form. So it's like, I get it. Like, it all depends on, like, if you don't want all of that craziness, then yeah, I get it, because, you know, it's been said many times, like, you show me an attractive woman, I'll show you the motherfucker that's tired of her shit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, it's also, we don't know exactly what was going on. Like you said, she wasn't getting an allowance. They was supposed to be going 50-50. Maybe that's some type of mind state that she had.
Pretty is what pretty does.
Now you dealing with somebody that's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, no, don't worry about it.
I got it.
Like, I got this. Yes. I got this and probably everything else if necessary.
I hate it.
So, I mean, it's a trade-off. It all depends on what you deem more important.
Let us know what y'all deem more important, man. Let us know how more important we are than these other podcasts. If you're listening to our podcast, make sure you rate. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit the favorite button on any of your podcast listening apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Buzzsprout, whatever it is. Make sure you add it to your library. That way when we drop new episodes, you'll get a notification on your phone so you can tune in just like all our other avid listeners. We've been trying to do a better job of giving y'all consistent content, showing up consistently. We're doing a better job of that in 2023 for the rest of the year. Going forward in this season 3, if you have any topics that you feel like we should talk about, any shows, movies, music that we feel like we should check out, break down on the show, let us know. It's been a pleasure bringing this show to y'all a week after our last show. Make sure y'all go check out our last one, Sliming You Out. And man, I feel like we had a good conversation today. This was pretty fun and shit.
This was nice.
I miss y'all, man.
This was nice.
I really miss y'all. But yeah, as the sirens go off, it's time for us to sign off. For Nove, the man who rides 2 horses, I am J Optics. And until we meet again, be kind to each other. Stay safe, but stay dangerous. Peace.
We out.